Welcome to On Texas Football. I'm Bobby Burton. This is a special edition of On Texas Football, courtesy of our friends over at Burton, the NIL collective that sponsors several tight ends for the University of Texas for media appearances. The folks at Surly Horns put that together. Great idea. Visit them if you would. Jordan Washington is the tight end of the day. Thank you, Jordan, for visiting with us today.
Yes, sir. I'm glad to be back.
Yeah, sure. You were on with us when you were a high school student, recruited, all this other stuff. So it's great to see you. Congratulations on the team, the season, etc. I figured in this interview, Jordan, what we would do is try to give people a sense of what's going on behind the scenes, what it's like to be an athlete at the University of Texas. We don't want to dive too much into the team because that's personal right now and kind of close-knit discussion points. But we'll talk a little bit about that and some other things as well. Let's just get started, if you don't mind. I'll get it going here with this. A year ago, at this time, you were playing against, I don't know, Cy Falls, Cy Fair, Cypress Creek.
Yeah.
Now you're playing against Georgia, Michigan, going to Vanderbilt this weekend. What's the difference really for you between high school ball and college ball? You're an excellent athlete, always have been. So you're one of those guys that knew they were going to make this transition. But what has that transition been like for you so far?
Yeah, so I think there's three things that are like a big change from high school football to college ball. And the three things are the physical part of football, like the competitiveness, the players you see, the size. The academics is second. There is a lot more hands-on. There's a lot more projects you do, a lot more work that goes on. Rather than going to 7 classes a day, you may do like 2 and, you're done. And lastly is obviously the environment, the stadium, the culture. Like Sark says, culture plus talent equals deadly, or like violent. Like we have that here at UT. So, that's good to have. But first thing I would hit on is obviously the physical part. Coming from high school, Langham Creek, we're a pretty good team. We had those seasons where we're pretty rocky, but other than that, you can really say it for yourself. The high school ball is, you see somebody my size on the field, like, geez, man, he's huge. When you get over here, it's like, dang. Everybody's the same height, 6'6", 260 as a tight end. You're like, dang, like. But in high school, I was getting looked at like, yo, he's the real deal. But now, so I will say like the competition is real hard. I'm not saying like it's hard to play against other people, but just, people going back and forth all the time. Like us at practice, we're always bickering, going at each other, trying to make each other better, and I feel like like everybody does a real good job at that. Everybody's giving each other good work. When we go down there and work out with the safeties, we're working with Michael Taft, Kobe Black, Jade Barron, some of those players. And so, the physical part, it's real different from high school. And so, yeah. And then the academics, it's crazy how they, not to sound like that, but it's crazy how they treat, the athletes and how they want to see them be really great, So they may help them, give them some extra help. Not saying like they don't do this to every other student, but just, if you have a football player in your class, you would like to, treat him with respect and he'll treat you with respect. And so I feel like, when you get the professor's respect and you go to class every day, you attend class, you participate, things like that, academics come easy to you. And so like me, I don't have a big problem with academics. No reports made on me. Banks never has to talk to me about academics, stuff like that. And that's something.
I bet your dad is happy about that. He's smiling listening to this right now.
Man. He's
like, yeah, go Jordan.
So yeah, and then in high school, how you got the 7 classes and you're every day just 7 classes, history, English, and it takes so much off your brain. And coming to college, it's much easier. It's a lot more work, but it's less of classes that you have to worry about. And so I just think that's like excellent. And then obviously our advisors do a great job in helping us. I just got back from there And she was my professor, or not my professor, my advisor's name is Megan. She does a great job with, helping me and what I need to get done. All the advisors do that. If you ever need help, you can just go over to the academic building and get it corrected. And then the last thing I'll say is the culture and like the environment. So obviously I played, Texas football, high school football. It's like here. You got college football, high school football, and like NFL. But high school football is real big in Texas. And so that's what I'm saying. Like coming from a part in high school football where, the stadiums are huge. Maybe, some stadiums hold like 18,000 people, coming from a stadium where it holds about 10,000 people, and then moving to a stadium that holds, 110,000 people. Like this past game against Georgia, I don't know how many people were in there. You saw it. You saw the stadium, orange everywhere. And so the culture is very, very different. You get a lot of you just get a lot of people gravitated to your team. Not saying like if you're a losing team, people will just leave you. This Texas culture is really strong. Like you get a lot of people that are just ride or die at heart, and I really like that. That fuels me, like walking down Bevo Walk. That it's such an excitement to just get off that bus and hear everybody chanting Texas, 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 knowing you're a part of that team, And so I just think those are the three main differences from high school ball. And obviously I'll throw in there the coaching. The coaching is real different, high school ball. My freshman year at high school, I was learning the playbook, and then boom, I'm like this. You tell me a play, Coach Todd Thompson tell me a play, boom, I'll be like, Here, it's like, it's layers to this offense. It's like peeling back a layer of an onion. I wouldn't even say like I'm halfway in the onion. There's a lot for me to learn. I'm gonna keep learning. Coach Banks does a great job at that. The other tight ends even help. Spencer, Gunner, Juan, Amari, they're all great help. And so traveling with those guys, it's real fun. They help me a lot, like on away games, how to keep composure, how to keep my cool, not how to get like rowdy or anything, or have the fans chirping behind your ear and turn around to them and say something. Like OU, that was the game where I was like, come on, bro. Like, I'm not going to let you say that to me. I'm going to try to say something in the back. But, like seeing everybody else's composure on the field, that obviously helped me and trained me to be the person who I am.
What was that game like, Texas OU? Because we hear so many talk and discussion about it. That was your first one as a player. What was that like for you guys, seeing that stadium split straight down the middle?
So for most people, it's I'd say the sophomores and up. It's like, all right, we saw this last year. We had a hard loss last year, but now we're going to bounce back. We don't even care about the stadium. But for some of the freshmen and maybe even some of the sophomores, like I'll say for myself, like not even pregame, just pulling up on the bus through all the sea of red and orange. You have orange on this side, red on that side, people flicking you off, doing all sorts of things. And you got people cheering on the other side. So as soon as you get off the bus, you hear boos and hoorays. And so it was real shocking to me how people really treat teams they don't like, And so getting off the bus was crazy, and then doing a pregame walk. So the tunnel, it's similar to Michigan. If you know how Michigan's tunnel is, it equals out like this and goes down. So that's how the locker room shape was. And we're coming out of OU's side. So if it's split in half, we're walking out of OU's side, trying to walk over to our side. And I walked out with Quinn, not saying like we both walked, but I just met up with him and we're walking out, and I can just see how much hate Quinn gets. I mean, you can't hate a great player. I mean, he's great, walking out, boo, Quinn, boo, this, that. And, like as a freshman coming in, some people may not know your name as much, but people were knowing my name. I was like, wait, what am I doing wrong? I'm just trying to walk over there to get to my warm up. And so that was crazy to me. And when we run out the tunnel was probably the most electric part I've probably been in. except this Georgia game. This Georgia tunnel run was something else. But running out, you hear maybe 4 or 5 seconds of boos, just boo. And as soon as you cross the 50-yard line, you hear nothing but Texas fight or hoorays and stuff like that. And so the energy of the game was 10 the whole time. But Texas football, we're built different. So nearing that third quarter, things got like this. You see nothing but orange on this side and a little bit of sparkles of red on this side, people leaving the game. And so it was a great sight to see. Great sight to see.
Good stuff, Jordan. Thanks for explaining that. Hey, is there one thing that you would tell a high schooler right now if they were in your shoes? Say you're a sophomore and junior again.
Yeah.
Is there one thing you would tell a younger Jordan Washington? Hey, be working on this. You should be thinking about this as you get ready for college football.
I would really say like development. Stick to a position you want to play, and work at it. Develop. I would in my sophomore year, I was a real all over the place receiver, tight end, defensive end, quarterback. I was kind of everywhere. And so, nearing my junior year, that's whenever I solidified playing tight end. And so I'd say, like, pick something you want to be at and just work at it. Now, I will say Travis Hunter is opening up the two-sided ball. So I'm not saying cut that off, but I will say if you want to be great at something, stick to it and continue to work and be determined to get it done.
Yeah, it sounds like what you're saying is basically you would have liked even more time at tight end than you had. Because you're realizing now that your big frame that you have, everybody else has it too.
Yeah.
And so what gets you on the field sooner, or what allows you to perform better, is that experience.
Yeah.
I think that's part of it too. I mean, you're only a freshman, so you're going to get there. It's just a gradual thing. It's not just immediate like that. What's been the most surprising thing about
the most surprising thing? Say it again.
Most surprising thing about football at Texas for you?
I'll say the amounts of celebrities on the sideline. That I'm like, I'm sitting down, we're watching the iPad, looking up, and we get done with the iPad, and we just look up at the big screen, and we're like, what? Well, obviously Matthew McConaughey. I was like, Kevin Durant, what? Devin Booker, what? I was like, man, this is crazy. The amounts of just people that have the support to just come to Texas and just watch us play. It says something knowing like, yeah, I'm going to go to a Texas football game, and then you have all these other influencers coming to the game. And so I really think that's like the most surprising thing.
Let me ask you this. What is and I just want to get this sense so people understand how much time you guys really put into football and school during the season. Give me an example schedule of your day on, say, give me your Wednesday schedule. Just go through it from the minute you wake up, what time you wake up, to the minute you go to bed.
Got you. So Wednesday, I'll start off Tuesday. Here we call it Bloody Tuesday. That's like your hard practice. You're hitting, boom, tackling, And then your Wednesday is more like not necessarily all the tackling, but just physical. It's still physical, real physical. A thing around here, we're real physical when it comes to practice. There's not a lot of, walk-arounds. If we're doing a walkthrough, it's not really a walkthrough. We're going to run. And so a Wednesday, wake up 5:15, and I usually like brush my teeth, get ready. I already have my clothes pulled out, so I already put my clothes on, and I take a couple minutes to just like kind of wake up, and I hop on my scooter, hop on the scooter, drive over to the facility. It's a nice, cool morning, like waking up at like 5 o'clock. The air is real cool, so it's a nice little drive up there. Get to the facility, and I hop straight on the treadmill. And so I do about 5 minutes of walking on the treadmill every day, just to get my body awake. And after that, I hop on the heavy roll. Heavy roll is like a cement roller. Instead of like a foam roller, it's like a heavy roll. You roll it down on your back, and it just cracks all the bones of your back, and you just get up feeling good. And so after that, get done, and then I go eat breakfast. They serve us good. Our nutritionists are real great. They know what to feed us. Shout out to Brad. He's the man. You know, get my breakfast. Probably take it to go sometimes. Make a smoothie. Grab some water, and then head back up. And so now we have the team meeting. So
What time does the team meeting start?
7:15.
7:15.
So you have about 2 hours to get all this stuff done. And so you go to your team meeting, and then we have special teams right after team meeting. And then once we get done with that, we go into position meetings. And position meetings are maybe like 45, 50 minutes. And then we have practice. We leave from the facility to the practice fields at about, I'll say 9:15. 9:15, hop on the buses, get there, and then, you know, practice starts. You get your little warm up, you start warming up, do this, do that, and then practice starts. You have your special teams period, your individual period, your team period, 7-on-7, a lot of that, and then you get your halftime, which is you need a halftime during practice because, you know, the way we be working, shoot, we need a break. And so we get done and then have another special teams period after that, have another team period, and then have a good on good, which is the ones versus the ones going up against each other. And then we wrap up practice there. And then when we get done with practice, we're done with football. And obviously you don't stop football by not watching film anymore, but your physicality, you're done. Yep. You get back, hop in the shower, and then for me, I head back to my dorm. And I get ready for class. I have class at 1 o'clock to 2, and then 2 to 4. And so I'm getting showered, boom, 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 boom. And I get back to my room, grab my backpack, and I am hauling to go to class. You know, I go to the tank first to go grab something to eat, and then I haul to class. And Speedway is so packed that it's not good for a scooter, so it's better to walk. But me, I make my way around. I swerve people and get to my class, do my classes, and my day gets done at about, I'll say 3:30. Class gets done maybe around like 3:30, and then we have a meeting at 5, a tight ends meeting. All the tight ends, we go watch the film with the opponents or practice, get done with that, and then boom, I'm back in my room. I need any ounce of time by myself. You just need either to lay down or, you know, just relax and chill.
Well, I got, this is awesome stuff. Basically, you're on from 5:15 until 5 p.m.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a long day for a young person. I mean, it really is. I went to college and I didn't have that long a day. I know that much. When do you even get to see your family? Like when, just on the weekends, I guess, right? Because that's when they come up. But even then, you got the game and everything else going on.
So I'll say I probably see my family probably 2 hours out of the whole week. And that's including the hotel visit. They come visit at the hotel, and then probably after the game, maybe an hour and a half after the game, you know, see them in the stands, say goodbye, and then you meet up with them after. And then, you know, they got to leave because you don't want to stay on the road that late. So they got to leave. So that's about 3 hours I see my family out of the whole week.
Gotcha.
And sometimes they may not even travel to away games, so it's even harder. So.
Yeah. And Jordan, you're an awesome young man. We wish you nothing but the best of luck. I got to ask you one final question.
Yeah.
And that is, what is and this is where I think that, you know, a lot of people have different goals with football. What is your ultimate goal in football?
Personally, I have a personal goal, and then I'll say I have a more of a, you know, a team goal I would like. And so personally, I would like to, you know, regrow the tight end room, you know, coming from Jatavion Sanders, Gunnar Helm, you know, those are some tight ends that have some weight to their name. And so I like to be a part of that train. You know, I know Gunner's a great tight end. He's the top. He's one of my top 5 tight ends, if not top 2. You know, and so, you know, coming behind Gunner, it's going to be a big step. You know, the shoe's going to be this big, and you're going to need somebody to fill it. And so I'm taking all this time, you know, from after this season going into off season, the spring. I'm going to take it a lot more serious, as if, you know, this shoe needs to be filled, and it needs to be filled by somebody, and so that's why I'm gonna take my time to just get everything down to the nitty gritty, and it also starts with making better connections with players on the team. If you want to, get down and make this play correct, I may need to connect with Arch, or I may need to talk to Brandon Baker or Trevor Gooseby to, make sure this play is correct. And so, being more of a team player rather than, kind of focusing on myself. I'd rather, when you help other people, it also helps you too. And so also the team goal, I kind of said it, just make the tight end room a lot more bigger and make Texas, you consider Notre Dame or who else, Oklahoma, tight end U. I would like to consider Texas a tight end U. Jatavion Sanders, he was probably the best tight end in the country a year ago. And then Gunnar Helm, I mean, who else is probably up there competing with him, having the most receiving yards on the team, And so I'll say transforming Texas into a tight end U will be an ultimate goal for me.
You want to play in the NFL too?
Oh, yeah.
A lot of work between now and then. You're only a freshman. Who are some of I did have one other question. Who are some of the team leaders for you right now? Just guys that you think are helping lead this team and into the ranking that you have. When things are down, they're the ones you look to, that sort of stuff. Who are some of the leaders on this team right now?
Yeah. I'll obviously start it off. The heart of the team, is obviously the head coach. I feel like Coach Stark is probably the greatest leader we have. Whatever the vibe is, that's our vibe too. If he's feeling hype and ready to go, that's us. We're backing up our coach. And then I'll also say our quarterback, both of our quarterbacks, Quinn and Arch, they're real talkative. Not saying in a bad way, but they'll speak up and they'll make sure everything's correct. Especially Quinn. You saw whenever he got injured, there was a clip zooming in on him, getting the team together, cheering us up. And so I'll say that. I'll also say Isaiah Bond, DeAndre Moore. Those are two receivers that are like, first of all, they're dogs. Like they'll get after it. Those are two people that will get after it. And they'll also speak up to like how Quinn and Arch would. They're real loud, real speak up, real protective over the team, make sure everything's correct. And then obviously Gunnar. Gunnar is probably the most, I'll say that's probably the person I look up to as like, demeanor, how he carries himself, how he treats his body, what he does every day. That's somebody I have real leadership for too. And then obviously Jake Majors. Jake Majors he's the what is it called? The person that rides the train,
the conductor.
The conductor. He's the choo-choo. He makes sure everything is on track. He knows what he's talking about. And then on the defensive side of the ball, Jade, Michael Taft. I've been recently getting close with Michael Taft. We've been trying to set up, church, going to church visits. He recently went to one yesterday. I'll say, Michael Taft, Jade Barron Sorrell, Ethan Burke, Vernon Bryan. To be honest, it could go on. I'm not even trying to like gas it up, but there's everybody that's on the team just speaks up for everybody. Even I speak up for some of the people on the team. Pregame, I'm once we get done running out the tunnel and we're on the sideline getting ready for coin toss, I'm speaking to everybody like, be great. This is another game. Don't think this is a game you have to outperform yourself for. This is a game that, you just played another one last week. Why do you need to play this one different? So just everybody's a big help,
Jordan, it's been a pleasure spending time with you, buddy. Thank you so much. And thank you to the folks at Burnt Ends as well as Surly Horns.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Jordan, y'all best of luck to you this weekend.
Yes, sir.
Go get the Commodores, okay, buddy?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Welcome, man.
Welcome.